going on, everybody? It feels like summer is finally here. The corn is out, the sun is shining. Then we finally have our blockbusters coming back to theaters after a 2-year semi-hiatus. Last year wasn't that big, but you know what? I feel like this is finally the summer that we've been waiting for almost 2 years. And to start off this summer of blockbuster years, we're going to be talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to be talking about this film in non-spoiler discussions. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm probably going to have a spoiler review coming out sometime in the week or on the weekend. Before I get into my review, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So after Doctor Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens the doorway to the multiverse, including an alternate version of himself, whose threat to humanity is too great for the combined forces of Strange, Wong, and Wanda Maximoff, Sam Raimi comes back to direct his first superhero film in 15 years after Spider-Man 3 and his first film overall since Oz and the Great and Powerful. And I was really excited to see this film because I was really excited to see the infinite possibilities that we could get with this film, and I am a big fan of Sam Raimi. I enjoy his Evil Dead films. I really enjoy the Spider-Man films, even 3, and I really wanted to see what his take on this film was after Scott Derrickson unfortunately left, which I was really bummed out because I really do enjoy his work, and I really did enjoy the first Doctor Strange film. I wanted to see his horror take on this film. I wanted to see how far he was going to go with this film. But we have Sam Raimi taking the helm, and that is no slack on this film because this movie is about 2 hours and 6 minutes, and it flies by. There is not a dull moment to a degree. There are some moments where the pace could have been kept up just a little bit more. There are moments when characters do things that you would expect them to do differently. But before I get into my thoughts on the film, I do want to give this disclaimer because I think it is a disclaimer that needs to be out there. Actually, 2 disclaimers. One, if you're just expecting a facial of cameos, then you're going to be extremely disappointed because this movie is essentially this movie is Wanda's movies. And another thing is that if you have kids, parents, I would suggest that you watch this film before you take them to this film because there are a lot of horror images and sequences in this film that might be a little bit too frightening for them. But with those 2 disclaimers out of the way, I really enjoyed this film to a degree. I thought this movie was a lot of fun, and it really did take its liberties with the horror aspects in this film. Benedict Cumberbatch comes back as Doctor Strange, and this movie picks up immediately right where WandaVision left off. If you have not seen WandaVision, you will be completely lost because they don't give you an explanation about how we went from Infinity War Wanda to Doctor Strange Wanda, and that is going to be a little bit confusing for a lot of people if you don't watch the show. That was probably one of the issues that I had with the film. I thought for the most part, for the first act, I thought it was a pretty basic MCU film that you would expect. It was a lot of fun. It starts off with a bang. It starts off immediately. You are just thrown into the action in the first 20 minutes and you are just exploring, wondering what's going to happen to these characters. And once we get introduced into the conflict of this film, it really picks up, and that's where Sam Raimi shines. It shines very well into his horror aspects, especially during the second act, because there are a lot of subscriptions to life that end in this film, and there are a lot of moments that just had me howling. Usually, I'm not one to be the rowdy person, the person that gets people rowdy in the theaters and shouts, but that was me this time because I was really excited to see this film. Plus, I also had other things that I had to do immediately after this film that really really impacted my enthusiasm that I had for this film, and I thought it was a lot of fun. Benedict Cumberbatch does a really good job of portraying Doctor Strange in this film again, and it really shines because he has to portray, as we've seen in the trailers, and I'm just going specifically on what we see in the trailers. I'm not going to go into anything else, but when we see different versions of Doctor Strange in the trailers, Benedict Cumberbatch really holds his own when it comes to portraying those other multiverses of Doctor Strange, and we get to see him shine in this film. He does a really good job of bringing a lot of great physicality to the film and a lot of great sequences. His interactions with America Chavez in the film is one of the things that actually makes the film whole. Even though this is essentially Wanda's film, she gets the bulk of the film. The dynamic between America Chavez and Doctor Strange is really amazing, and it's really helpful. It is essentially kind of the same relationship that Peter and Tony had in Homecoming, and that's essentially what this kind of dynamic is. You get to see some of her backstory in this film, and it is kind of heartbreaking. I'm not a big comic book reader, so I don't know anything about America Chavez or anything that's going on. I don't know. As far as my involvement with the comic books, essentially it goes down to watching breakdown videos. That's as far as my comic book knowledge goes. I don't know anything about the lore. I don't know anything about the rogues gallery. Nada. So it was really nice seeing a new character, even though she does get a little bit of a character development in this film, but it doesn't get explored as much as some people may want it to be. It was really nice seeing the introduction of America Chavez in this film, portrayed by Xochitl Gomez. I do apologize if I did mispronounce her name, but I thought she was great. I thought she held her own for what this film was, and I thought she played off Cumberbatch very well. And I am really excited to see if we're going to be able to see her in more things. Wong in this film is one of the best parts of the film. He doesn't get the bulk of the screen time. He is a side character for the most part in this film, which was kind of disappointing because I really wanted to see a little bit more of him in this film. But when he shows up, he shows up. And Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo coming back, I thought he did pretty well. It was nice seeing him come back in this film, even though I did enjoy him in the first film, and it was really nice seeing him come back in this film. Wow. Where do I go now? It's an understatement to this point if I say that Elizabeth Olsen is, it would be an understatement if I said that Elizabeth Olsen was underrated, but she's not. And this movie absolutely fucking proved that. Because essentially this is Wanda's movie. It picks up exactly where WandaVision left off. And wow, yeah. You want to see Wanda go bad? Get ready. Because Wanda goes fucking bananas in this film. And I was all for it. One thing that I wanted to see in WandaVision was Wanda just go absolutely batshit fucking crazy, and she most absolutely does that in this film. I thought she was fan-fucking-tastic. If you guys not seen Wind River, what the hell are you doing? Watch that movie. That movie is phenomenal, and if that movie did not prove that she is a fantastic actor, I don't know what else to tell you, because she fucking stole this movie. This movie should have just been called Wanda. I'm holding this microphone. Wanda in this film is a fucking animal. The Scarlet Witch is here, and you want to see her in the most scariest things that she can do. She absolutely fucking destroyed this movie. Elizabeth Olsen is a phenomenal actor, and this movie absolutely proved it. The way that she just does things in this film that makes your skin crawl, the way that they made her look, the makeup effects in this film, the way that she has to portray Wanda in this film when she is, as we've seen at the end of WandaVision, gets a hold of the Darkhold, and now she is absolutely like, yeah, you're barking up the wrong fucking tree, Strange, right now. You are fucking with the fucking best. And she comes in and just absolutely destroys this film. I thought she did a fantastic job in this film, and I thought I could have used a lot more in this film, because you want to see Wanda go bad? Guess what? You're gonna see Wanda go bad in this film, because she actually destroys a lot of shit in this film, and I was in it. The last half of the film is pure horror, and this is where Sam Raimi is going to shine. He's going to shine in this film. If you're not a fan of his Evil Dead films, then you're absolutely going to be divided on what happens towards the end of this film. A lot of the great makeup effects, especially from Zombie Strange, is fantastic, and it really does bring us back to that era of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead films. It really does bring us to that era, and it really does shine a light on the amazingness that is Sam Raimi. I did enjoy a lot of the trippy kaleidoscope effects in this film, and I probably am going to watch this film in IMAX 3D, because it looked like it would be a lot of fun in IMAX 3D, and so I'm probably going to see it in 3D. Probably multiple times if I enjoyed it, but the way that this film is constructed, the way that Sam Raimi plays around in this world is actually phenomenal, and it actually works for the tone of this film. Some of the dialogue in this film really didn't work for me as much as I wanted it to, but when this film shines, it shines in its horror aspect. This is essentially the first MCU horror film that we have gotten, and it just made me curious to see what Scott Derrickson was going to do with this film, with the horror aspects, because he is a really great horror director. I am really excited to see The Black Phone, and I enjoy the first Sinister, and I still need to see The Exorcism of Emily Rose. But I wish we could have seen what his style would have been in this film. But we had Sam Raimi in this film directing it and giving us his own little flair, which I really enjoyed. And overall, I really enjoyed this film for what this film was. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it isn't one of the weakest. It is a okay time if you enjoy this film. If you are expecting like a lot of cameos in this film, you're going to be extremely disappointed, because there are cameos in this film, but lower your expectations going into this film and just accept this film for what it is. Don't judge it. Don't judge it on your pre theories about who could show up in this film. Just evaluate this film as the film, and you probably will have a great time or a fun time like I did. I had a fun time. It was a lot of fun. This isn't going to be one of the best films of the year, but I really enjoyed this next chapter of Doctor Strange and Wanda, and I can't wait to see what we got more going forward. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness a 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect. There are some issues with the film. Some of the CGI works and other times, but other times when the practical effects are in, it really shines, and it really does give us that horror film that we kind of hopefully expected the first film to be. This film gives us that, and in spades. But overall, what are your thoughts on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Go ahead and let me know your non-spoiler thoughts. Don't drop any spoilers in the comment section. I am the watcher, and I am watching who leaves those spoiler comments. But give me those non-spoiler thoughts down in the comments below. And until next time, this is Josie Reviews.